Hours I stand in room 12, staring intently at you, Lady Moser, and trying to discover a different point of view of being a woman. I'm interested to learn from you what it would have been like to have been practicing in the long 18th century as a woman artist and printmaker. Did I tell you that I'm researching the speculative and imaginary lives of yourself and other artists from the long 18th century? Did you have any female tutors, or were they all male? And were they more receptive to different forms of dialogue with other female artists? And were they able to give you well-informed advice? And did you get involved in flower art and teaching this? Please do.
Okay, thanks for your understanding about the performance. I can speak about this experience in about this, and one of the ones who seems to have activity in the day. You do come in kind of the top.
We don't know. We know about this part. What do you think has happened to it? Have you contacted the Victorian Albert Museum? Not yet. There's an academic called Dr. Sarah Grant, who's a curator.
I still have lots of places to visit in my research, including the British Museum, St Bride's Library and the Ashmolean Museum. I heard you went on a sketching tour with the miniaturist Richard Cosway. Did you know that other researchers investigated the long 18th century? Hannah Lyons at Birkbeck? I'm actually meeting her in a couple of weeks' time at the Maritime Museum in Greenwich. And how long was your sketching tour? And was Richard Cosway flamboyant? And did you know he was married? And Hannah Lyons, she presented a paper on Letterhead Burn and British women printmakers in the long 18th century. And her colleagues, Amy Clark, presented Printing Innocent, the publication on the public influences of Margaret Caroline Rudd from 1775 to 1789. And on the 25th of May, Anna Jameson, also from Birkbeck, presented a paper titled Other Bodies, Women, Madness and Spectacle in the late 18th century. I would like to present a paper. Have you any suggestions? I can't believe it's 202 years in May 2022 since you died. By the way, I'm meeting Hannah Lyons next week, and she is researching a case of a missing Lady Etchless and has been for the last 3 years at the National Maritime Museum. Would you like to come? And your other painting, Flowers in a Vase, which stands on the ledge in the Fitzwilliam Museum in Cambridge, has some similarities to your paintings in the Mary Moser room, I think. Also, it's undated. I'm interested to know when you painted this. There's a remarkable use of paint, and you managed to capture the moment of overripeness and a flowery display of flowers before they decay. I'm interested to know why you use watercolours for this painting. And I feel there's a whiff of death connected to this painting. It almost manages to admit the scent that flowers have before they have decayed. Were you proud of the flowers you painted and the swags and the ribbons in the Mary Moser room at Frogmore House? Could you share with me your creative processes and how did you source paints? Or did you make your own pigments? The colours in your paintings are very rich and luxurious, and they're just full of depth and colours and fullness. Did you struggle to find the right colours to work with then? I imagine this would have been more difficult for you to source.
By the way, Mary, I met Hannah Lyons at the National Maritime Museum in January, and we had a coffee. And Mary, did you know Hannah Lyons is now Assistant Curator of Art? She said to me she was looking at professional women printmakers in family-run workshops in the long 18th century. I'm now thinking of looking at amateur printmakers. What do you think? And Mary, she's planning a trip to the Isle of View. She's looking at Caroline Watson's letters. And Mary, she's also organising a special tour titled Forgotten Places on Thursday, 24th of May, 2022. at the National Maritime Museum, where she'll be exploring forgotten portraits of unknown, unfashionable and lovely cities whose faces have remained hidden in storage, sometimes for decades. Mary, why have these portraits seldom been on show? Talk to me, Mary. Your portrait is in storage due to repurchase of the National Portrait Gallery. When will your portrait be on display again, Mary? Spring 2023, I heard. Speak to me, Mary. I could talk to you, Mary, for hours, Mary Moser.
Conversations with her, MPG 050919. For hours, I stand in Gallery 12, staring intently at you, Mary Moser, 1744 to 1819, and the concrete walls outside the British Museum, and trying to discover a different point of view of being a woman. I'm interested to learn from you what it would have been like to have been practicing in the long 18th century as a female artist and painter, and I'm keen to unravel the other missing women and find out what they did, what were women expected to do then. I'm interested to learn, Mary, were you close to friend and fellow artist Angelica Kaufman, 1741 to 1807, who was painting historical portraits and landscapes, as her father, like your father, had taught her to paint from an early age, and in 1766 had brought her to London, where she established a reputation as an artist, like yourself. Were you close? And did your father teach you to paint? As I read that you won your first medal from the Society of Arts for very detailed flower painting, aged 14. Very impressive, I must say. And in 1758 you won a prize in the Society for the Encouragement of the Arts, category for girls under 18. And in 1759 you also won the first premium for your class with a prize of 5 guineas, as well as a silver medal for your extraordinary merit. And Mary, this work was shown in London's first public art exhibition and held at the Society for the Encouragement of the Arts in 1760. Did I tell you, Mary, I visited the Mary Moser Room at Frogmore House prior to COVID-19, and the ceiling of the Mary Moser Room is outstanding. How did you attach the flowers to the ceiling? The swaggered garlands with the blue ribbons and the gold hooks are exquisite. I'm in awe of you, and it's so nice it's still there with everyone to see. And the walls are striking, with each panel decorated. How long did this take? And Mary, did you meet Queen Charlotte when she commissioned you to do this room in 1792? I hear you were the envy of your male colleagues, and this was a very prestigious commission to have gained in the long 18th century. Are you enjoying the attention now, Mary? Talk to me, Mary. And your portrait is still in storage due to refurbishment of the National Portrait Gallery. When will your portrait be on display again? Spring 2023? How do you feel about this, Mary? Talk to me, Mary. I could talk to you for hours, Mary. I'm in awe of you, Mary Moser. By the way, on the National Portrait Gallery website, it says it's close to spring 2023. Will mentioned Mary, who's looking at the library and archival collections at the RA. He mentioned some letters and possibly correspondence between yourself and Angelica Kaufman. I'm interested to know, Mary, about those letters and your flowers and your paintings. Please, Mary, you have to help me. We'll also mention the friends you had, your friendship with Angelica and her friends. By the way, Mary, I went to a display by Hannah Lyons at the V&A titled Pride and Prejudice, Women Printmakers 1700-1930, before going to talk by Katie Hessel, where she mentioned you and Angelica Kaufman. She even signed my book. Dear Cara and Mary, you really are amazing. Keep it up, Katie Hessel. Anyway, she showed works by you and Angelica Kaufman. Amazing, isn't it, Mary? And I bumped into Willine again on Wednesday, 23rd of November. I invited him today. Look, I have linseed oil and pigments too. In October 2018. Where I stood next to her. It was a blue wall rather than a white wall. I wish you'd been there, Mary. Let me show you. These are my dabbers. These propositions are all about yourself, and they also include Louisa Grenville's lips. And Mary, I saw Will Ine again at the RA. I invited him today. And in the British Portraits room, facing the past, it was all men. I can't believe you, Mary Moser and Angelica Kaufman weren't in there. Don't you agree, Cara Mary? You and Angelica should be in that room too. Thank you.
Your friend and fellow artist, Angelica Kaufman, 1741 to 1807, who was painting historical portraits and landscapes. And her father, like your father, had taught her to paint from an early age, and in 1766 he brought her to London, where she established a reputation as an artist. Like yourself, really close, Mary. And what do you think of her paintings, Mary? And I heard your father taught you to paint, and that you won your first medal from the Society of Arts for a very detailed flower painting, A14. Very impressive, I must say.
Mary, did I tell you, I met Katie Hessel again. And she was talking about the story of art without men again. And Mary, she said she loved my sleeves. Let me show you my sleeves, Mary. here's my sleeves, Mary. And did I tell you, Mary, at that exhibition, I also met Katie Hessel, and she signed my book. Let me show you, Mary. Dear Karen Mary, you are amazing women. Keep it up. Amazing, Mary. To think she signed my book.